Young adults' heavy reliance on ultra-processed foods, fast food meals, packaged snacks, sugary drinks, and convenience products can be understood through the lens of behavioral economics, revealing why these choices are not simply about taste but are deeply influenced by the environment, incentives, and cognitive pressures. Far from being a trivial preference, this pattern reflects systemic factors that nudge individuals toward UPFs while simultaneously eroding their ability to make balanced dietary decisions. Understanding these forces helps explain why, despite knowing the risks, many young adults default to ultra-processed options day after day. Cost is one of the most obvious drivers. Ultra-processed foods are often cheaper per calorie than fresh, minimally processed alternatives, particularly for students and early career adults living on tight budgets. Fast food combos, sugary cereals, instant noodles, and packaged snacks provide immediate energy at a low apparent price. But this value is deceptive. While inexpensive in the short term, repeated consumption leads to higher long-term costs in terms of health, energy crashes, mood instability, and metabolic disruption. Behavioral economics shows that humans are prone to favor short-term gains over long-term consequences, a bias known as present bias, which makes cheap, immediately satisfying foods more appealing than nutritionally superior but costlier options. Convenience compounds the problem. Ultra-processed foods are designed to minimize effort, ready to eat, prepackaged, and widely available. For young adults juggling classes, work, social obligations, and side hustles, the cognitive and physical effort required to source, prepare, and clean up whole food meals can feel overwhelming. Behavioral economics identifies this as a friction cost. Any extra step or barrier decreases the likelihood of choosing a healthier option. When convenience is maximized and effort minimized, ultra-processed foods naturally dominate daily decisions. Marketing plays a profound role in shaping preferences and perceived value. UPFs are heavily promoted through social media, influencer endorsements, campus advertising, and point-of-sale displays. Packaging, branding, and flavor engineering exaggerate sensory appeal and reinforce instant gratification. Young adults are especially susceptible to these cues because they are still developing executive function and self-regulatory capacity. Behavioral nudges embedded in marketing, limited-time offers, bundled deals, or social proof cues exploit these vulnerabilities, making UPFs more attractive even when healthier options are available nearby. The result is a marketplace designed to push consumption toward highly processed, nutrient-poor items. Decision fatigue further reinforces reliance on ultra-processed foods. Each day, young adults make hundreds of small choices, classes to attend, assignments to complete, social interactions to manage. Cognitive resources are finite, and as they deplete, the brain defaults to easier, less effortful decisions. Preparing whole meals requires planning, shopping, cooking, and evaluation, while ultra-processed foods offer instant choice resolution with minimal deliberation. This path of least resistance is predictable. When mental energy is low, convenience and immediacy dominate. Over time, these repeated defaults condition the brain to prefer UPFs as the easiest solution, regardless of nutritional content. The negative consequences of these behavioral patterns are cumulative. Reliance on UPFs contributes to metabolic stress, weight gain, impaired satiety, and emotional dysregulation. By exploiting cognitive biases, convenience imperatives, and marketing pressures, the ultra-processed food environment actively undermines young adults' autonomy and long-term health. Even when individuals are aware of the risks, the interplay of present bias, decision fatigue, and environmental nudges makes repeated exposure to UPFs difficult to resist. This perspective also reveals why simple educational campaigns often fail. Information alone cannot counteract the structural incentives and behavioral traps embedded in daily life. Without addressing cost, accessibility, marketing, and cognitive load, young adults remain trapped in an environment that subtly but powerfully encourages ultra-processed consumption. The implications extend beyond individual choice. They highlight a systemic problem where the architecture of the food environment exploits natural human tendencies, making unhealthy patterns almost inevitable. The takeaway is sobering. The preference for ultra-processed foods among young adults is not merely a matter of taste or irresponsibility. It is the predictable outcome of an environment designed to prioritize short-term satisfaction, reduce effort, and exploit cognitive biases. Without structural interventions, changes to pricing, availability, Marketing regulation and environmental nudges. Behavioral economics predicts that reliance on UPFs will continue, perpetuating cycles of metabolic strain, emotional dysregulation, and poor dietary habits throughout young adulthood and beyond.